Hey y'all, welcome back to Mirror Expressions. This is a channel where I share a little bit of myself with you all, and I invite you all to do the same with me. So, before we get started, I want you to take a moment, hit that like button for me, and then run on over to that subscribe button and push that one too. Today we will be reviewing Married at First Sight. We are season 15, episode 14, No Hug for You. Before we get into it, please let me know how you're doing. If you've looked in the mirror today and you feel A1 with what you see looking back at you, drop me a mirror emoji down in the chat, y'all. But if you have not, or if you're not feeling A1 with yourself, y'all, as always, I encourage you to do what you must. So when you look back in that mirror, you are looking at a healthier version of yourself. Yes, honey. I want you to feel great about who you see in that mirror every day that you look into it. All right, y'all. Without further ado, we're gonna get started. So I did something a little different this time because y'all know I usually write my notes out. But I said, let me just type these junks up for let me just give that a go. You know what I'm saying? So I typed them up. So when you see me looking down, I'm not looking at my little notebook no more. I kind of ran out of pages, and instead of starting a new notebook, I said, let me just try typing them. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see how this one goes, and I may stick to it. I may not. I don't think that really matters to y'all as long as you get what I got to say. All right, so today's episode is the couple's getaway trip, right? It's 10 days until decision day. Y'all, Nate has gotten rid of those two little baby braids back there, and now he has like little plaits all over his head, you know. I will say though that this look is a lot more becoming than those two little braids back there. The little bump braids on the end. But anyway, so Sasha and Nate, they just kept coming back from the little nasty store with all their bag full of goodies. They get like all kinds of toys. One being these vibrating panties that's controlled by a remote, right? So Sasha's, I said, okay, little old free talking about it'll be cool if we just chilling out with some of the other couples and you start to buzz me. I'm laughing, y'all, because I ain't gonna lie. That's some kind of stuff I would have done probably in my past. I don't think I would be so much into that now, but in my past, I would have been down for something like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I hope they'll be all loud while they on the retreat with all this bag of goodies that they done bought. Um, So we see all the couples. They're starting to get ready for the retreat. They're packing and whatnot, and then this, that, and the other. And Kristen and Mitch, they're obviously still together. Um, he says that hopefully they will get a chance to talk, and she says yes, that they could discuss things on the drive up. So Miguel buys Lindy a dress because he and along with some of the other couples have decided to throw a prom since Lindy has never gone to one, right? And I was just like, we see all them driving up, right, to the destination. Well, first of all, I say some of the other couples because it seems like when they finally got to the destination and they were talking about the prom, not everybody seemed like they were in on it. So that's why I just say he along with some of the other couples. But anyways, did y'all notice like when they were driving up how all the women were driving? Like literally none of the men drove. Like, y'all didn't think that was strange? Or just kind of wonder about that? I wonder if that was planned. I just wonder. Anyway, because every single one of them. But anyway, so Kristen and Mitch, right? They're discussing the pool party from last week's episode. Y'all, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. Why did this girl apologize to Mitch? I hope y'all see the disgust in my face, because I was just like, oh my goodness. Like he still did not apologize to her. At least not from what we hear. All he said is that he didn't handle things as well. And she comes behind him and she says she's sorry for snapping. She says he had the chance to clear the air and he didn't, and so that's what made her snap. Oh yeah. He goes on to say that he felt attacked and thrown under the bus. And then we get a clip from the apartment cam, right, from the previous night. And all I can say was, ugh. Like, we see Kristen, and yeah, I was so proud of her last week. I was so proud of her. For it was like she finally was standing up for herself and whatnot. And then we see on this apartment cam that she's crying and apologizing to him. Like, at this point, I have no sympathy for Kristen. Like, because she's allowing Mitch to treat her this way. You know what I'm saying? You can't decide you're going to stand up for yourself and then renege on that. Like, you're basically telling him then that his behavior is okay when it's not. And so, yeah, she crying, apologizing, and she wanted him to tell her that she's beautiful inside and out. And he said, so we're back to the car ride. So she says that's all she wanted was for him to tell her that she was beautiful inside and out. And he says he felt like a puppet, being led what to do and how to do it. And that just doesn't work for him. I said, Mitch, you never want to do anything someone else does or suggests. You always view it as a control thing. That's the little boy inside of you that didn't have control over certain situations when you were growing up, like your parents divorcing, or like your dad passing, having a lack of structure, etc. It's just time for you to grow that little boy up, Mitch. He needs to grow the F up. Whew, all relationships are give and take. There's always going to have to be some reciprocity involved, and Mitch is just he's not doing it. Kristen is doing it all. But at this point, like I said, I have no more sympathy for her, because she acted like she was standing up for herself, but then she gave in to Mitch. Not once did I hear him apologize. Not once at all. If y'all heard it, drop it in the chat, because not once did I hear it. Not once. And it could be editing, but not once did I hear it. So they go to Fallbrook, California. Not really sure where that is, but obviously it's not terribly far from San Diego where they are, because they all drive there, right? So Kristen and Mitch, Alexis and Justin, they all arrive first, followed by Lindy and Miguel, and then Sasha and Nate. Y'all, the place was gorgeous. I will say that I actually wouldn't mind just going there and checking it out. It seemed very relaxing, and it wasn't no country place like they usually have had in the past. They always meet up like these country cabins or something. So this place seemed very nice and very relaxing. They had a nice little view. So yeah. Anyway, Alexis asked everyone what are they wanting to take away from the weekend. So this is when they get to talking about the prom, and Lindy is just like, she's looking forward to the prom. And she explains like the significance for her. It's like she just talks about like how she's never gone to a formal dance because of how she grew up. So, and that's when some of the couples kind of like chimed in, and it made it just seem like they all were not aware of the prom or the reason that they were having this prom, right? So we see the couple start to get ready for the prom, and Mitch tells Kristen, "Listen, I know that Lindy is going to be the prom queen." To which Kristen was like, "Yes, she deserves it." He says, "But you're my prom queen." Like, Mitch, it's too late. It's too late. Don't be trying to come with all this romantic stuff. Like, it's too late. It's too late. Um, I said that would have been sweet at some point, but coming from Mitch, it's a no. My darn eyeballs literally rolled out of my head when he said that. Oh, I feel like he just saying stuff at this point. Just whatever. Whatever gonna sound good. So Justin is attempting to put on Alexa's shoes, and he's struggling. We find out during this conversation because she goes on to talk about how he couldn't even take her bra off, right? So we find out they done finally hit the sex, right? So Justin's talking about how they made love, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's what you want to call it, because ain't no love nowhere. Insert though. Can I just say how I loved Alexis' look? She was absolutely gorgeous. Like, I want to say it was promised or prom etiquette, but it was cute. I loved it. Like, I just loved the whole vibe. It was gorgeous. Even from the dress to the hair wrap. I wish I could have I really never got to see or pay attention to the whole thing, like how it went with the shoes, because I may have would have jazzed it up a little bit differently. But, baby, she was gorgeous. She was. I said, okay, boo, I see you. Anyway, Linda Miguel getting ready, and she's trying to tell him how to take a picture of her. Like, she wanted to get a certain way or get a certain background in her picture. And you could tell in her voice that, she's getting a little agitated with him because he's not doing it how she asked him to do. And he makes it known that he doesn't like that song. She says she's kidding, and he says that's not what it feels like. And that she wanted him to jump and do what she said without any regards to what he was doing. So they started going back and forth and upside down and inside out over this whole situation. And I was like, this was such a minute thing that it makes me feel like Miguel has been feeling this way, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's either that or he has something else going on, right? And he's taking it out on her. So prom is starting. It's all decorated. They're outside the house, I think, probably like in the backyard area, maybe. We didn't really get like an aerial view, so I'm just kind of assuming here that they were in the backyard area. So Lex asks Lindy what kind of stereotypical things she's heard about prom, because whatever it is, they're going to make it happen. So Lindy brings up things like spiking the punch, the staircase picture, sex, and of course dancing, right? And so they even do a Married at First Sight yearbook, and they're asking each other to sign it or whatever. And basically, it's just pictures of all the couples going through the book over the last several weeks or whatnot. So I thought that was cute. So they're dancing, taking pictures, drinking. It really looks like they're all enjoying themselves and having a great time, right? So we're still at the prom, and Miguel brings up the argument from earlier. He said that it's really been trying him, and he feels gaslighted because she tried to say she didn't mean it, that she was kidding, but clearly she did get annoyed with him, right? So he brings up her tone again, and said, "You don't get to talk to me like that ever." The cameras are kind of like panning around, right, to all the different couples. And you can kind of see that everyone's kind of watching them. Like, so I'm guessing that they were a little louder than what they came across. Like, it was clearly not just a private conversation, even though it was meant to be. But it was obvious that the other couples knew that something was going on, right? So now, I will say I do not agree with Lindy and her antics, but I do feel like Miguel at this point is driving things into the ground. Like, he's already said the same things he said upstairs, and it's like, why bring this up now, especially in this moment? This is supposed to be like a special time for her. Y'all supposedly planned this specifically with her in mind because she's never gone to a prom. And here you are bringing up some petty ass shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, plus, you said what you said. Your tone came across as I mean it, and I'm not joking. So, why say it again? At this point, all you're doing is digging. You're just continuously digging. And it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? So, he basically said she became angry and disrespectful. And honestly, I don't think there was neither. I don't think she did either, to be honestly. But you tell me, what did y'all think? Did y'all think she was uh disrespectful, or that she became angry? Now, annoyed maybe, but angry, no. I don't think she was angry. And I don't think she was disrespectful in him in any kind of way during that point. Anyway, like I said, annoyed or frustrated, yeah, but angry, nah. He then says he's worried about how easily annoyed she can become. First, he said she yelled. Then he came back and said, well, you didn't yell, but your tone went up. Like, Miguel, come on now. Come on now, brother. Come on now. Come on now. Now he wants to talk about her gaslighting him. And I was just like, I think it's the other way around. You're the one gaslighting her, right? So, I think, I don't know. It's just kind of like, at least for me, it's like a been there and done that with somebody, where they kind of tried to make me feel one way or that. Even this whole same situation, whereas in one breath is, oh, you're yelling, and the next breath it was just, well, you were talking really loudly. Like, come on now. Come on now. Been there, done it. So, yeah, he's trying to gaslight her. And I was just like, he probably got her right now, like, thinking things that she knows she did do. She probably like, well, did I really? Yeah. Cause, honey, Lindy, she's all confused at this moment because she just doesn't know what to do or what to say to make Miguel feel better. So she's apologizing and trying to explain that she got upset because she was all dressed up. She was excited about the dress that he bought her and just really wanted to capture the moment, right? So she said she felt neglected and ignored by him when she was trying to get him to take her picture, right? So Miguel in his confessional is like, either you're angry or you're ignored. I'm sorry. Miguel, it said either you're angry or you're not. And I'm just like, absolutely not, Miguel. People can absolutely have several different emotions going on at one time. So basically, what he's trying to do in this moment, he's trying to tell her how to feel in that moment when he wouldn't even take the pic. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you can't do that. You don't get to tell somebody else how they feel. You don't have operation over someone's mind. So you don't get to dictate how they feel. And so what he's actually doing is in this instance is he's invalidating her words by telling her she's not being truthful with how she felt in that moment, which again can go back and make her feel neglected and ignored. So she tries to diffuse the situation, right? The situation, right? So she just said she would work on that, and they kiss and kind of call it a truce, right? So I was just like, that was so inappropriate for that moment. Like Miguel, he was showing his tail, but little did I know that was just the beginning. So they have their married at first sight superlatives. This isn't a new game, but it was kind of a different twist, especially for it to happen during prom night, right? So life of the party goes to Alexis. Best dancer goes to Nate. Christy said it should have gone to her. Girl, stop. Biggest drama queen goes to Lindy. Most emotional was next. Now, Kristen and Alexis, they're hosting the superlatives, right? So they're kind of going back and forth, passing out the awards. So Kristen is announcing this particular one, right? Why she had to put a disclaimer out there before saying who the winner was. Emotional to me means very in touch with how they feel and that they're willing to share it. I was like, girl, stop again. Like, we all know who the winner of that award was, right? It was Justin, you know what I'm saying? So, Nate is just like, congratulations, big baby. Nate always slick throwing the shade. I don't think Nate cares for Justin very much at all. At all. So, Mitch won most likely to save the planet as well as class clown. Sasha wins best all around. The biggest gossip was next, and that went to Alexis. Again, Kristen is trying to give a disclaimer saying that we just feel comfortable sharing with her. And she laughs about being the cause of being in Morgan's divorce. Like, honey, that was not funny. There was nothing to hee about. Ain't nothing cute about it. Most likely to stay married goes to Lindy and Miguel. Most likely to end up with multiple divorces. Now, Kristen, she's announcing this winner, right? And she prefaces it with some stuff, and then she announces herself as the winner. Bitch was looking so hurt, y'all. Bitch, you know what? Kristen did decide to stay together with Mitch, but this episode, she was on in my head. She was on it. She was on it. So anyway, she announces herself. Mitch looking all hurt in the face. He says he definitely didn't vote for her. And she says she definitely did vote for herself. Now Mitch feels like she's taking a page out of his playbook. I said, he doesn't like when the joke's on him. So hypocritical. So the last awards are prom king and prom queen. And of course, that goes to Miguel and Lindy. I love how they did that this year. You know, it really did seem like fun recreating their prom or whatever. So prom is over, right? And the couples, they're all settling down in their rooms for the night. Miguel and Lindy, they're talking about the conversation that they had earlier at the prom. And he brings up again how he wants to be able to trust her answers that she gives. And I was just like, get over it, Miguel. Get over it. All that will be triggering to me. Like all that he's doing right now. You know. Anyway, Sasha and Nate, they end up knocking on their door, interrupting the conversation. And she's just like, we're bringing you a special gift. And y'all, it was a sex swing. So they stayed and showed them how to use it, complete with setting it up with them, setting it up for them on their door and all that. I thought that was a pretty funny scene too, just to see Lindy flipping that thing in and out and over and upside down. And y'all, they was all over the place with this swing. So I wonder if they use it. Did they end up having a little fun that night with all the tension they had going on? I wonder. I should probably watch the after party to see if they mention it. Because I bet you Keisha asked them that. Anyway, it's the next day and everybody's waking up. We learned that Lindy and Miguel are doing a carriage ride. Kristen and Mitch are doing archery. Justin has planned a surprise day for Alexis. He takes her to a vineyard. And she brings up, how he's been smiling more. She said he got that booty glow. So Alexis thinks that things have been better since they have had sex. At least on her end, they seem to be better. And when I say her end, she means like that. I don't think she's talking about herself necessarily, but for her, she sees a difference in Justin. Justin, however, doesn't feel like much has changed. He thinks he's still the same. And he makes the comment that he still can't say that he's giving his all in 8 weeks because he's just processing a lot of stuff. So Alexis said, well, I'm giving my all. And Justin said, that's not what I meant. I mean, some things are just not going to happen within 8 weeks. So Alexis disagrees. She says that she's more of a when is enough type of person. And Justin asks if he can be honest. And so she's like, yes. And he says that he feels like she is still going to quit. And she is, Justin. She is. She says, now I'm surprised that y'all had the sex. So Kristen and Mitch, they are doing their activity. Like I said, they're doing some archery. So they have the little bows and arrows. And I just said, Kristen, stop wearing them type of pants, baby, because they are not flattering. Now, don't mean that I'm trying to, let me see, I'm not putting down your beauty because I think you're a very gorgeous woman, baby. But know the things that are flattering to your shape. And this is the second time I've seen you in some pants or some shorts like that. And baby, they just ain't it. That ain't it. But I digress. So, Mitch is in his confessional. And he's bothered about Kristen saying that she'll be more likely to be married multiple times, right? Part of him wants to bring it up and part of him doesn't. So I said, he doesn't like the shoe being on the other foot right now. So they're practicing shooting the arrows, and then they're given an assignment to write something on the paper, something that they want to let it go. And Kristen was just like, well, let's have it pertain to our relationship. So they write something down. She wrote attraction. She wants to throw that word away. She feels satisfied that he is attracted to her. And then he's just like, well, what should I write? Like, why do you have to ask her? Grow the F up, Mitch. You got your own brain, your own mind. You can think of something. So he eventually writes pool gay. So that's what they're calling what happened at the pool party. They're calling it pool gay. So he writes that down. And then they tack him up on the bullseye, the target, right? And then they shoot the arrows to kind of just dead all that drama that goes along with those words. In the end, Kristen tells Itchbay that she forgives him and he's going to be back to Itchbay. Because I'm just really trying to see how all of this flip back on Kristen. And she's the only one apologizing. And he has not. So anyway, she forgives him. And I'm just like, whatever. Because I still ain't heard an apology come from his mouth yet. So Lindy and Miguel, they're taking their little carriage ride. Miguel begins to read a poem to Lindy, or I don't know if he was reading. It is more so that he was reciting one, right? So he's reciting a poem to Lindy. Yeah, I ain't gonna even lie. Linda did not seem too. She did not seem too interested in that doggone poem. She kept doing everything but really just be engaged with this. She was just like, "Oh, look at that doll! Ah, look at that bunny! Do you like horses?" I was like, "God, Lindy, do you have ADHD? Like, what is going on? Child, I need you to focus." So now Miguel, he gets in his confessional talking about how frustrated and irritated he is by her constantly interrupting him. But did he share that with Lindy yet? Nope. He chewed her out. The day he chewed her out the day before because she was lying about how she felt. But now here you are not telling her how you really feel. So after the ride, they go sit down and they're having like a glass of wine or whatnot. And he starts talking Dungeons and Dragons with her, right? So she interrupts him again about how people are taking pictures of them with their phones, right? So I'm assuming it's like the people that's working there, of course, all the cameras. So they know that they're filming for some TV show, right? So they're probably trying to, take some pictures like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so Lindy makes the point of pointing that out. And she interrupts him talking about his Dungeons and Dragons. Y'all know Miguel got very frustrated. He was. And again, instead of saying this and just expressing how he feels, he gets all passive aggressive, saying he doesn't want to say anything else because she's just going to get distracted, right? So Lindy apologizes and she asks for some grace. And Miguel is like, "I'm giving it to you, but don't ask me to have any heartfelt conversations with you." Petty Betty. So she just says it's her personality. And the thing is, it really could be like she could have some undiagnosed issues going on. Like I mentioned, it could be ADHD. And so without any kind of treatment, whether it's medicinal or like some type of behavior modification, she's not able to control it well. You know what I'm saying? And so Miguel, he's just frustrated. He's been frustrated for a while, in my opinion, because why is all this just coming out like the way that it is now, right? So he says that he's going in on her. Wait a minute, before I get into that. So anyway, she asks if she can comment on things that are happening around him, right? Around them. So he tells her that if she's taking in other things, then she's not focusing on him. So she's asking for clarification on what he deems appropriate and not appropriate, right? And he can't answer the question. He says he doesn't ever want to feel like he's competing for her attention. So that's on her to figure out. Like, no, Miguel, that's for you to communicate to her. Y'all are talking about communication. You've already jumped down her throat, telling her that she's lying to you about how she really feels. Yet here you are, not communicating your feelings, not being honest with her about how you are feeling, and not being straight up about how she can best meet your needs so that you're not feeling this way. Because she's asking, what can I do? How can I make you not feel that way? And you're not giving her a clear-cut answer. And I'm just like, just tell her what speaks to you. Just like you were very clear to her that she will not speak to you in that manner again. Be very clear about your needs in moments like this. Like, don't leave her guessing. Because she's like, this is new to me. Having someone get offended by me doing that is just is something I've never dealt with. So he gets smart and says, well, you've never had a husband to stick around, Miguel, and you never had a wife to stick around. Like, that's literally what I was thinking. And she came back and said the exact same thing. She's just like, well, you've never had a wife that stuck around. So basically, like, we're both new to this. We're both new to this. So she says she's learning. She's still learning his triggers. And that it's just all a learning progress. And I agree. Y'all are only 6 weeks in. Like, I believe you can, excuse me, I believe you can be with someone a lifetime and never know all of them. So he then speaks, and bingo, ding, 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 ding. We find out what's his deal at the moment. So he said that he's had a busy week. He came into the weekend with very low energy. He's just tired. And he's tired of calling her attention to things, right? So she begins to cry at this point. Like, Miguel, don't push her to the point where she's having a whole crying spell. Like, don't do it. And then turn around and try to be all empathetic. I said, that's some evil ass shit. It is. It's evil and it's dangerous. That's a dangerous game to play. Like, you're pushing her to these extreme feelings. Then you want to be the one to make her feel good behind them. It's very narcissistic. It's screaming narcissistic. I don't know if he realizes that what he's doing is considered that, or if he is just mimicking behavior that maybe he's been subjected to. And the only thing I can kind of think of from what we already know from him is that maybe it was from his mother, right? And like I said, not saying that it's true. This is just me kind of speculating and guessing around at this point. Because these extremes, they're just unnerving. And this isn't to say that Lindy is my favorite person or that I feel like she can do no wrong. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. But in the words of Iyanla Vincent, let's call a thing, beloved. Okay. So Lindy gets up and she goes with the producer. She says, she's feeling like she's not enough. She doesn't know at what point. She says she doesn't know at what point. She says, you either love me or accept me or you don't. So Miguel goes to her and he pets her up and says that they can sit down and talk, right? Miguel says that he will call her out in a nice way so that she doesn't feel attacked. He mentions that this blow up. He mentions that this is a blow up. And so Lindy starts to spiral again, y'all. And y'all know how she can do. So she starts spiraling. She's just like, you consider this a blow up? I'm kind of the same way. Like, it wasn't like a whole big argument. But yeah, I guess something like that is just relative to the person. So for him, it may be what he feels like is a blow up. So he mentions that it's a blow up, and she's just like, you consider this a blow up? And he's just like, yes, I made you cry. So she asks him, so do you think it's my fault? And he's just like, it's our fault. And so she says she feels a blow up is not this. She feels it's something, it's a situation where you become very over emotional, reactive, crazy. And so she then threatens that he doesn't want to see her blow up. Now, in her confessional, she says he can't handle her outburst. He thinks that's an outburst. That's not an outburst. He cannot handle her outburst or her blow up. And I'm like, okay, Lindy, now this is where you went too far. Like, I was with you up until now. Like, don't go threatening or act like you finna unleash the waters on him and break down his levees. Like, no, now you can't do that. You can't go tit for tat. So, but this is what I want to know from y'all. What do y'all think about this whole situation just thus far? Like, I want to know your comments. Like, do you think he was in the wrong? Do you think she was in the wrong? Do you think it was both of them? Like, I want to know y'all opinions about that whole situation. So, drop it down in them comments and tell me what you think. So, the men, they're all gathered together except for Miguel. And so, they're trying to figure out, like, where he might be. They're like, let's do some deductive reasoning. We know they went to a horse carriage ride. I think it was Mitch talking about maybe they got stuck in the mud or something. Oh, goodness, y'all. Is that the ladies are doing the cooking for dinner that night, and they too are wondering like where Lindy is. So Sasha brings up the fact that Alexis and Justin has done the do. They done got in the bed and they done made some magic happen. So Sasha and Kristen, they asked her how it was, right? And Alexis kind of hauls around before she finally kind of says or alludes to it being awkward. She just started saying, how your first time, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know if she said that to say your first time period or just your first time with a new person, because I don't know. But anyway, she said it was awkward. So, and she also said that he lacks stamina. So in her confessional, she brings up the fact again that she doesn't want to have to be dominant in the bedroom. She wants someone who is basically going to take the reins, be assertive, right? So Lex asked the ladies if they had met their husbands in the past and the sex wasn't good, but he was a great person, would they stay? So Sasha, off top, she's just like, yes. And Kristen, she kind of co-signs and agrees with her, and she says yes. And so Lex makes the comment that basically, it ain't the bomb. She talking about ain't the bomb, so she's staying for other reasons. Okay, girl. Y'all, Sasha was looking like she did a whole confessional with nothing but her facial expression. So, Linda and Miguel, they make it back. Miguel tells the guys that he and Lindy had an argument because he just been in a grumpy mood, right? So somebody asks, well, what does he need to get himself back together? Here go, Nate. You can use my swing again. And all I can think about, y'all, I hope that was their swing and not yours and Stasha's name. I hope it was not. You better not tell me y'all around there sharing swings. Like, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. You're nasty. So, Justin, he all curious about this swing now, talking about can somebody 6'8" use it? Like, y'all are laughing because, the more and more it just seems like Justin was absolutely new to this. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you know, you know. So, Nate shades the hell out of Justin as always, right? He's just like, you can get anywhere if you want to, but it's more for your girl. Oh my goodness. He knows just don't know about no sex. He knows just probably ain't never had no sex until Alexis. Oh goodness. Anyway, inside, the ladies, they're talking about toys, and Sasha and Kristen, they down for the toys. But Alexis is just like, she don't want them. You know. They did ask Kristen if, she and Mitch are still on a break. Y'all was too tickled about in the dirty way. Anyway, let me get it together. So, they asked Kristen if she and Mitch are still on a break, right? And she says they are, and that she's just not ready because she's still so up and down with him, right? So Sasha asks where is she with decision day, and Kristen says the wife in her wants to say yes, but the woman in her wants to say no, and she doesn't know if she wants to give it more time to work out to see where it goes. Sasha tells Nate that she's going to wear her vibrating panties to dinner, right? And so she gives him the remote control. And all I could think was, this ought to be interesting to see. Meanwhile, Linda and Miguel are what appears to probably be the rooftop to the place they're staying, right? And so she's taking pictures of the scenery, the sun is setting or whatever. And so at one point, she wants to include herself in the pictures. And so she turns around and starts to ask Miguel, will he take her picture? But she stops and instead asks their producer. Miguel did not like that, y'all. He did not like that at all. So she said she didn't want to offend him by asking. So after she takes her pics, he's like, you can ask me to do that, you know. She says, I'm confused. He says, read the room. What is my energy level telling you? And I'm thinking that you still effed up, that you still in a funk, that you're still feeling some type of way. I want to ask your butt nothing either. So she says she feels like she can't win for losing, right? So she goes into this whole spiel about how his energy level is replenished. So that's what she's getting back from him now. So it was okay to ask him to do those type of things. But when his energy level is low and it needs to be replenished, it isn't okay. And she shouldn't ask at those points. So it felt very much like, let me just tell him what he wants to hear. Like, I felt that was what she was doing in the moment, because I really do feel like she probably felt like she was in a catch-22. Like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't type of thing. And she even says that later on. But in this moment, that's kind of what it was coming across. And I think she kind of knew what kind of response maybe, or she was kind of stabbing in the dark trying to figure out what he wanted in a response, but she didn't really feel it or understand all of that. So she was just kind of guessing at things. It was given very much like a parent-child dynamic right then and there in this situation. I didn't like it. So now he says he feels misunderstood and that if he keeps feeling this way, then he's going to give up. Like, don't give out idle threats. Don't give out empty threats. Don't give out threats, period. You know what I'm saying? That's because you're feeling misunderstood because you are not being direct with her, sir. Like, Miguel, you're really getting on my nerves this episode. You really are. So Lindy, she starts to apologize, right? I don't know, this is about the third or fourth time this episode that she's apologizing over something. And so she did ask him for a hug. And I'm sorry, y'all. And he says no. I said narcissistic. He's a narcissist. He is a narcissist. Like, and what we've been seeing up until now, that's kind of made us fall in love with him. Because I've been with a narcissist. He's been love bombing. All this cooking for her and acting like he's a stand-up guy. See, that's how he gets people to believe it's her and not him. That's how he gets her to fold into him. Love bombing. And then he shows his true color. Yeah. So, I was just like, withholding the marriage, it's a nope. It's a no-no. Like, you're literally punishing her in this moment. You don't do that to your spouse. She is your mate, Miguel, and not your child. So he's trying to set her off. That's what I believe. In this moment, he's just trying to set her off. Like, he is really wanting to get a reaction out of her. Right? So you could tell she's starting to feel some type of way and doesn't know how to take it all in. So he's basically saying she's wishy-washy and saying two different things. First, she doesn't understand. Then she says she does understand. I mean, she did do that. She did. But again, sir, you are not clear on your end from you just were not clear your end at all, basically. So the woman is confused. You can tell, she's being pushed and she's trying to be calm, because then we get that moment where she does like this little laughter, and it kind of made, in the previews, it made her sing maniacal, like but it was really just her trying to keep cool, calm, and collected. You know what I'm saying? So they start going back and forth, and you could tell like he's gaslighting her in this moment. I said, hell, he got me all over here confused at this whole argument. Like, he really did. Because I'm just like, what are they really arguing about right now? What are they? They are not arguing about if she asked him to take that darn picture or not. Like, you literally cannot be arguing about it. I said, Petty Betty. So she's steady losing it, right? And I'm glad she ends up calling him out about gaslighting her. She ends up in tears again somewhere during the argument because, she feels like she can't do anything right. She's damned if she do, she's damned if she don't. Right? So it's pretty much ruined the whole evening for her now, because she doesn't even want to go be with the other couple. She doesn't want to go to the dinner or whatever. So now when she runs off to the bedroom, he wants to look all shocked. I'm like, get the F out of here, Miguel. So he goes in after her, like down to the bedroom. He closes the door, like, so there's no cameras in there, but there's still both mics so we can hear them. And so he's apologizing again, setting her off, and then coming in and say today, pet her up. Like, no. I said, I am not liking this dynamic right now. I've seen it. I've been there, and I don't like. I see it plain as day, and this is so unhealthy. It really is. He's tearing her down to build her up so that she can only find security in him. That's the truth. It's a no for me. It's a no. So he says this is him opening up to her, and she said, well, I asked you to let me in on the process, not externally process with me. Miguel says it's too soon to do that with someone in 7 weeks. In his confessional, he says when he gets irritable and moody, he becomes a very negative person. That's no excuse, Miguel. She tells him it seems like you're looking for a reason to not be with me. And that could very well be like, it could be him trying to sabotage things. But like I said, also it's just coming across very narcissistic. So the couples are eating, minus Lindy and Miguel, right? Because they didn't come down. And Les is looking like she has something she wants to either say to Justin or say about Justin. But she held her peace, at least from what we see on the camera, right? So in their confessional, Sasha tells Nate that the two of them have finally had sex. Justin and Alexis finally did the do right. And Nate was just like, real sex? Yes. So Messy Legs did ask Mitch, is he now attracted to his wife? So you're being messy. You trying to stir up some more drama. And he says yes, and that the question is no longer on the table. So Nate begins to set out Sasha's her underwear, the vibrator panties, right, baby. She starts to get so antsy, and all you can see was Nate keep pushing this button. We found out later he did not know how to control the remote. See, he should have read his instructions first. So it's like he's probably continuously taking it up a notch. And so Sasha all like this, keep trying to readjust. She trying to raise up off of it. So everybody's kind of noticing like something is going on with her, right? And they keep asking her, is she okay? What's up? And they looking at her all strange and whatnot. And then Alexis finally gets it. She's like, you got some vibrating panties on? So anyway, Sasha ends up having to get up and run out because she couldn't take it no more. So Nate, he follows behind her. And this is where we find out that he didn't know how to work the doggone remote. So anyway, y'all, it's sometime after dinner. And the couples, they're all gathered in the kitchen. And Miguel is apologizing to Lindy again. But this time in front of everybody else. So Mitch notices that Kristen has slipped away, right? So why this fool walking to the kitchen dressed like Mitch? Y'all, complete with the bald head and that cap that be pulled all the way back. And the little matching shirt that he did not want to wear when they met Dr. Pia for the first time. And she got talking about imitation is the best form of flattery. Oh, so then she just starts to like mimic him, like things that he would say and how he would act. I ain't gonna lie, this shit was funny. That was funny. It's the next morning, right? And they're getting ready for a friendly game of dodgeball. So they trying to figure out the teams. At first they was like the ladies against the men. They was just like, nah, let's do couples against couples. And there's like, nah, we should just mix it up. Like no two couples, no two people within a couple should be on the same team. Right? So they trying to figure out all that. And so in his confessional, Miguel says that, he's really ready to lead a retreat. He ends up saying how he hopes that they can work through their differences. And again, he's saying this and kind of in front of everybody. So I'm paraphrasing, but that was the gist. And he said all of this, like I said, in front of the other couple. So there was like this awkward silence after he got through talking because I don't know, he was just kind of like this seemed like he really had much hope for them. And that it was like a big if between them. And so you can tell Lindy was kind of hurt. And she probably had it just been the two of them, probably went spiraling. Because you know how she can do when he's just not affirming all of that for her. And so it was this awkward silence afterwards. And then here go Mitch. Well, in conclusion, marriage is just like dodgeball. You can continue to run and duck, or you can stand your ground and catch the ball. Bitch, I forget that you can be a little funny sometimes. But you still don't get a pass. I'm still mad with you. So they're ready to play. They're ready to play ball. It's the red team against the blue team. The red team is Nate, Mitch, Lindy, and Alexis, right? And the blue team is Miguel, Sasha, Kristen, and Justin. So the red team is winning, and Lex is giving the rundown of each of their players and what they're doing and how they're doing well, right? But when she gets to Mitch, she said Mitch could have just been the mascot. I said, well, God, no. Mitch ain't got a sporty bone in his bottle. That tickled me so, y'all. Anyway, it's the last round, and it's everybody is out except for Nate and Miguel. So they're going up against each other. So Lindy, of course, is on her team side. She's cheering for her team. And of course, that is Nate, because remember, no spouses were on the same team. So she's hyping Nate up. And here go Miguel and his pissy ass attitude trying to pick a goddamn another fight. Talking about, you're supposed to be on my side. A little encouragement or some words of affirmation would be nice for your husband. Like, oh my gosh, Miguel. Oh my gosh. So the two teams, they end up meeting up afterwards. Like, it's the all the red team are at one table and all the blue team are at another. So on the red side, Lindy said that I think some people feelings were hurt, and Mitch kind of co-signs her, so that kind of leads them into talking about what's really going on with Miguel and her and all that. So uh uh Lindy, I just really found her making excuses, initially at least, for Miguel's behavior. Like, I really felt that's what she was doing at first. She wasn't doing nothing but making excuses. That's the start of it, girl. You better leave. That's just how it starts. On the blue side, Miguel is putting it all on Lindy because she doesn't what I got down here. Oh, because she doesn't yell, but her voice does get elevated. Like, come on, we not doing semantics. She ain't yell, she didn't yell. So quit it with that all this. Well, your voice level got higher. Boy, stop. Like, stop. So, he goes on to say how he feels like he has to censor himself. So in essence, he's feeling like he's walking on eggshells with her, right? So back over to the red side, Lindy just kind of breaks out and start crying. Like I said, at first she was making excuses for Miguel's behavior, trying to keep him in a good light. And I think it was just all became overwhelming with her, probably just thinking about this whole weekend and how she probably wanted it to be a great one, and it's just been horrible. And now here they are asking, and she probably really, really wishes she had somebody to been to anyways. And it just broke. It just broke. The damn floods. The dam broke and the floods came, baby. She just started bawling. And she shares how she feels like she can't do anything right with him anymore. She feels blindsided because she thought they were doing so well. And she said that she feels Miguel just has hit his limit. So basically, she's scared that he no longer wants to be with her. Sasha, in her confessional, says that she would like to see that she's seen a change. I mean, she would like to say that she has seen a change in Miguel, but she doesn't think she has. To her, it still feels like she just wants to get through. To her, it feels like Miguel still just wants to get through the 8 weeks. And that's it. Like, he's not looking for anything beyond the 8 weeks. And Miguel is questioning if he and Lindy are right for each other. And that was the end of the episode, y'all. There was a lot to unpack here in this episode. I think again that Miguel is really kind of starting to show his true colors, and I don't like it. Like I said, I've seen this before, and I don't think this is just him being grumpy. I think this is just who he is, because this was to an extreme. He literally effed up the whole freaking weekend. This wasn't just a one-day thing, a one-time thing. Like, he literally every day he was down that baby throat. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I think she should probably end things. I know she doesn't want to, but this is going to be something she consistently has to deal with. Narcissists, they are hard to identify themselves as narcissists, and they for damn sure do not want to change. But anyways, those are just my thoughts, my opinions. I hope you got a clear picture of what happened on this episode. Tell me your thoughts, your comments. What did you feel? What did you think? What stood out for you? What parts did you like? What parts did you not like? And let's drop down in this chat and let's talk about it. And that's it, y'all. Until next time, I pray for y'all. Y'all continue to pray for me. And what? Yes. Bye.